Prahawendar Pawb Croeso I Nôl. Good afternoon all and welcome back to Nick at Nova Adventures. The date is Friday the 23rd of May 2025. The time is just about 12:30 in the PM and it is a balmy 24 degrees centigrade today. The sun is out, bit of cloud about, but we'll take that. So we've decided to take Friday off and work bank holiday Monday. Boo, 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 but we'll go with the weather. So we are heading off back to Pembrokeshire once again. We've been there so many times. There is so much to see. If you've seen any of my previous vlogs, you'll know we've had some cracking times. So as I said, down to Pembroke Dock, we're going to visit again a couple of forts. One is a 20-sided fort. The other is known as a Mortello fort. There's two of those in Pembroke Dock, one on the east side, one on the west. At the moment, we are only going to visit the one on the west side, but as you know, in van life, things do change and we change with what we change. So anyway, enough talking from me for now. We're going to get on down the road, about an hour away. We've made Pembroke Dock and we've stumbled across some housing. I knew they were here, but I didn't know. Oh, just climbing down the bank. Didn't know if they were occupied or not, but they're not. So if you can just see in the distance there, that's Pembroke Dock power station, gas-fired power station, and these are what we've come to have a look at. These houses have been built but obviously not finished. They've been vandalized quite significantly. There's no glass in there. That one's smashed. So we are going to go for a look inside because we aren't causing any damage to get in. So we've come in through the back and we've got a little shower room here, nicely tiled through the back of the property, and in there is the garage. We got through the next one next door through the garage door, which is open. That would be the front door, and then these are 4-story houses, believe it or not, and it's such a crying shame that these will get damaged if not properly protected. I mean, I don't know why they haven't been finished off, but that is your view looking up to Milford Haven and Pembroke Dock. Fire alarms are sounding, the smoke alarms are sounding. So this would be a dine-in kitchen area, nice long window to the back. Again, it's got the units in, well, as you can see, they've been damaged, not by myself. Brand new cooker over there. What a shame. I'd love to know what the history of these houses are and why they've just been left. There is a sign in the one next door saying get out, but you know, you don't leave them like this, do you? So this would be, I take it, a bedroom with a small ensuite. It's got all the tiles, all the bathroom fittings are there. The windows are wide open. In fact, I think we will close the windows, be a little bit responsible and close the windows. There we are. Okay, so this is the first floor. Again, you've got a nice bathroom in there, got all the fittings, and once again another small bedroom. And we go up again. So we were on the first floor, on the second floor just now, and now we are in the attic, in the third floor. Again, all the fittings in the ensuite bedroom. The Velux is wide open. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to close that Velux as well. No need for it to be open. A little couch. And that's it. So yeah, I'm not sure why these houses are left in the state they are, just for people to come in and vandalize them. Whether the builder's gone bankrupt or not, I don't really know. So we're just working our way down to the first floor and now down to, sorry, we are now on the first floor. We came down from the second, so this balcony is on the first floor. Stunning views. What a property these would make. There's about 5 of them. We're hoping to get some drone footage. So yeah, the kitchen and sort of lounge area is on the first floor. Okay, let's get out of the first floor. Oh, down this way, back to the ground floor now. As I said earlier, this is the garage, you can't quite see in there. And then back out to Couchstand Star Villa, ensuite, back to this box room, and then we go back out through the, I was going to say through the door, but we don't, because again, as I said earlier, there is no glass in there. So what a shame that these houses have been left in the state they are. Obviously there's been a lot of money into them. Look, people have just done that to them. And the next one, look, what a crying shame. Anyway, we're going to get a little bit of drone footage now and then go back up to Nova, have some lunch and get on to our destination where we were originally going to be. We found a good chunk of sea glass, no blue, no red, but we got some nice brown as well. So we're going to leave this area now. We've done what we've done. We've had some lunch in Nova. There she is. Not the best view of a camber, and I'll just show you out there. Stunning views, minus that horrible power station and that oil refinery up the top there. If you go to a vlog that I did a few weeks ago, you'll see we went to Popton Fort, Hubberstone Fort and South Hook as well, so that's on the YouTube channel somewhere. We have arrived then, only a few minutes down the road. You can see Nova just over there, and that is the port of Pembroke Dock, as you see there in front of you, just about over there. That's where the Irish Ferries dock. It docks there to go over to Dublin, and we are on Preseli View, and look at that stunning view. And you know what, I might park here overnight because it looks peaceful, but we don't know until we try it. So anyway, Preseli View this is, and if you look in the center of your picture on the horizon, just where my finger's swaying, that is where the Preseli Mountains are, which is near home. And then the bridge just over that body of water over there, that's the Cleddau Bridge. There was a disaster on that bridge when they were building it in the 70s. One of the spans collapsed and unfortunately a few of the guys were killed and a few were seriously injured. Anyway, so that's where we are. We're going to get David the drone up now and see what we can see from above. We can't get into this one, it is covered by security cameras, and yeah, we don't want to go into anywhere where we can't walk into without breaking in, basically. Okay, right, from Selly View, let's go to the fort. There we are, that's where Nova is parked. And this is what we've come to see. So this is the defensible barracks near Pembroke Dock. It is a grade 2 star listed building, as the other ones are that we've been to. It's a Victorian era fortification and barracks, and it has a 20-sided stone fort surrounded by a dry moat, as you can see there. That is the dry moat that side, and the dry moat that side. So there's a parade ground that occupies the center of the fort that we will see from David the drone, and it was built in the mid 1840s. So there we are, you'll see on top of that door VR 1844, and there's a camera above there, there's a camera over on the pole over there. So yes, not inside this one unfortunately. There are some slates missing off the roof to my right. Anyway, back to it. It was built between 1841 and 1846 to house the dockyards garrison of Royal Marines and to cover the land side of the dockyard from an infantry assault. So from all the way around there. Okay, prior to the defensible barracks construction, the Royal Marines were housed in a hulked 74 gunship called HMS Dragon that had been deliberately run aground in 1832. Nice of them. And then they built this to accommodate them. So the barracks were acquired by a private developer with plans to convert it into a residential accommodation back in September 2009. However, the property was again for sale in late 2022 and as of January last year. So a description of the actual barracks itself then. The barracks is in form of a square bastion trace with 2-story barrack ranges surrounding a central parade ground. So you'll see them on the drone. A fortified gatehouse in the middle of the north wall, and the moat is about 16 feet or 4.9 meters deep and 42 feet or 12.8 meters wide. Well, nobody's getting in there, are they? And it was crossed by a fixed modern steel bridge that replaced the original wooden sliding drawbridge that leads to the gatehouse. Okay, the scarp or inner wall of the moat rises above the height of the platform to serve as a parapet with musketry loopholes, except at the salient angles of the bastion to allow the guns to be mounted on the bastion platform to fire over the parapet. Wow. All but the southwestern bastions still have some gun mountings remaining, and the external walls of the gatehouse and the barrack ranges are also looped hole, and some of these have been fitted with sash windows. Right, that's that. bit of commentary and a bit of drone flying for you at the same time, and we shall see what we will see from up there. Hopefully you have enjoyed the footage of the defensible barracks in Pembroke Dock. Not sure there's much more to see with the drone or with anything else. We are in the middle of the golf course, and what a golf course, what a view playing golf. A few rounds there and I'm sure you'll be happy, as long as it's not raining and it's not windy. So yeah, we've done what we can. As I said earlier, unfortunately we can't get inside that one, not even going to try it. We are now going to be walking down to another fort, but this one's a tower and it's known as the West Mortello Tower. Okay, you join me there and I will see you, or you will see me, in a few seconds. So the West Martello Tower is one of two stone built towers, basically a D shape in plan with chamfered corners, the entrance being on the first floor along the long side of the D. So you saw that on the footage. There is now a walkway that goes up to the first floor. Construction of the tower began on the 11th of November 1848 and completed on the 30th of May 1851, and it was one of the last Martello towers to be built in the United Kingdom. The structure is 52 feet or 16 meters high. It has the detail over the door inscribed VR 1851, which is Queen Victoria in Latin. So it was armed with a single 32-pounder gun on an iron traversing platform on the roof, plus 4 12-pound howitzers mounted on carriages, and a garrison of 38 men. The armament was removed during decommissioning in 1881. So there we are. It was finished in 1851 and decommissioned in 1881. 30 years. Not a lot really, is it? Anyway, all the windows doubled as firing loops, and during the First World War it served as an observation post, and in the Second World War it was an anti-aircraft battery with a twin 303 Lewis gun position. Not a clue, I believe what I'm reading. It is irregular octagonal plan with steeply buttered walls protecting the entrance and the southwest flank. As I said earlier, access to the tower was via a walkway to the accommodation level, and all terminal floors are accessed via an iron spiral staircase. The basement level had magazine for 50 barrels of powder. Nice. And now the room is being converted into a bedroom. There is also a 4,520 gallon water tank, a barrack store and an artillery store on the roof. Some walls have been grit blasted back to the original brick and granite. So the owner understands that the floor level is 6 foot below the water mark. That's 2 meters, but there is no evidence of water impregnation or damage visible. So as you see now, we've come to the East Tower and it's a lot calmer now. So we might just get David up on this one as well and do you an intro for both. Right, let's see if we can get David up, or will that wind come back to bite us on the backside yet again. We had some good footage in the end of East Mortello Tower in Pembroke Dock. As you can see it there, I'm trying to keep out of the wind. And briefly the wind dropped when we took David up, but the seagulls didn't. They did not like the drone at all. So we did what we did, and then we pulled him back and got him back down so they can carry on their merry way. Right, I'm heading back to Nova now. It's starting to rain just a little bit. All right, what we've decided to do then is to make supper in this car park that we were in earlier on, the West Tower Martello Tower there. So we've decided to make supper here because it's a good hour's drive home, so it'll be a bit late, gone 9 o'clock. I don't want to eat that late, so we're going to do our burgers and have our pint of 0% lager shandy. And there's another tugboat coming in the distance. Okay, right, well, this is what we're cooking. Somewhat cremated, but I'm sure it'll taste fine. So there we have it then, spiced chili beef burgers or cheeseburgers, and our usual pint of not Carlin. And that's our view, not the best view in the world ever, but there we are, it is what it is. Could be worse. I could be sat at home in four walls watching telly, but I'm not. What a dark how, good morning all. We survived Pembroke Dock. How we did it, I don't know. There was some funny goings on in this car park last night. I don't even want to know. Anyway, the time is 10 to 10. So as they did on the Greg James Radio 1 breakfast show, 10 to 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 to 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 to 10, 10, 10. That was crap, but there we are. Anyway, that's my view. It is very windy today, dry, cloudy, no drone footage today. We might pop over to Milford Haven to have a spot of lunch and then get back home. As you can hear the wind, there are a couple of tugs over in the distance there. Looks really far away on the GoPro, but in fact it isn't. Okay, right, time to get Nova to look like a normal car. There she is, halfway done. Privacy curtains up, blinds down. We have a bit of company. Not going to show you me because I don't look pretty in the mornings. I don't look pretty anytime, but especially in the morning. Okay, right, if there is movement of a tanker or a ship, we will hopefully get that. We've sorted Nova out, we've seen the lifeboat go out, and there is our breakfast. It is far too windy out there for me to be sitting even in the boot jump, so I've come in, opened the window, found another useful purpose for something that's not meant to be used for that purpose, but hey, we'll take that any day. So anyway, cup of coffee, vitamin bar or protein bar, apple, some nice cereal and some nice orange juice. So that's where we stayed last night. As you can see, Nova right over in the distance. We've walked along the beach to get some more sea glass. What do we find? Well, these friggin' horrible things. Vapes. I'm so glad that they've now, as of the 1st of June, banned the sale of single-use vapes. But that one there in front of you, that's a rechargeable vape, so I'm not sure it will tackle the problem. And it says, if you can read on the top, it says smart. Well, the person who threw that in the sea wasn't friggin' smart. Just goes to prove it's not people in vans that make a mess, it's friggin' idiots, and most of them young kids. Before leaving Pembroke Dock, we saw this building. It's the former Garrison Chapel to the Royal Dockyard at Pembroke Dock in Pembrokeshire. It was designed by George Ledwell Taylor, surveyor of buildings to the Naval Board, in the early 1300s, and was completed in 1834 to 1835. From 1974 until 1986, it was used by the Pembrokeshire Motor Museum, but was then sold to a developer and fell into disrepair. It was compulsory purchased by Pembrokeshire County Council and has been rebuilt using Objective 1 funding from the European Union. It now houses the Pembroke Dock Heritage Centre run by Pembroke Dock Sunderland Trust, and it is a Grade 2 star listed building.